everyone, it's Desiree and I am here with paper roses. We are going to do a little bit of heat embossing. We're going to do a little bit of colored pencil coloring, and we are going to feature the Bold Flower 2 and Bold Leaves 2 clear stamps. So let's get started. We're going to start first by stamping our images, and these are two separate images. So what I'm also showing is you can take images from two different stamp sets to create one image. I'm going to use the flower first, and I'm also going to use my clear ink because I want to heat emboss this. Now the paper that I'm using is by Strathmore. It's my Strathmore mixed media paper, and this is the toned gray paper. It's my favorite paper in all tones for my colored pencils. It's got great tooth. I do stamp my images just a couple times just to make sure I have a good coating or a good inking for my embossing powder. And you can see I'm taking that leaf, that separate leaf, and just making sure that it's lining up with the first image. That's the beauty of a clear stamp. You can see it. Now you don't need to use a stamp positioning tool here, and you're going to see that I'm actually going to put this on a block because that second piece, I didn't want to pull everything else out. So let's go back to the basics. Pull out an acrylic block, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm looking through that stamp to see, okay, where is this crossing? And now I'm going to stamp that down. So it actually looks like these leaves are coming off of that original image. Now you can do this with many images. It doesn't have to be a floral. Try it with anything that you have. Mix and match. I love mixing and matching. And I thought these two, it's funny how they said Bold Flower 2, Bold Leaves 2. I didn't read the backing when I did this. Once I have my embossing powder on there, I'm using my champagne from Recollections. I'm just coming in with a clean brush just to clean some areas because, of course, I did not use my anti-static powder tool. I forget. I'm going to heat my tool up, and then I'm just going to melt the powder. Once it's all melted, I'm going to set that aside and let it cool. Now, the coloring that we're going to do is very simple. 3 colors, a white, a pink, and a green. And that's really all you need. The white colored pencil is the bomb. It is the one that you want. Now, my favorite white colored pencil in my go-to is my Prismacolor. I think it's solid. I think it gives great coverage. And just by layering and the different pressure for the pencils, you are going to get a gradient look on this petal. The white pencil, when you take it over that color, that pink in this case, it's blending those colors together. It's going to do the same thing with the green. It's going to add a highlight. So you can see I'm just coming in with that green. I'm coming in with a little bit of that white, and then I come in with that green again. It's all going to blend together. Now, the colored pencils that I am using for all of the pencils are Prismacolors. They are a waxed base, and they do blend. I do like the way a wax pencil blends. I think they're just a little bit easier, but again, that's just me. You can do this technique with whatever colored pencils you have. So again, just putting down that color, and you can really see with these leaves better. Once I get that color down and I put on that white, you can see it just blends in when it comes to those colors. And you can see these leaves actually come off the page. It just adds a nice highlight to them. Coming back in with the green, that just helps to blend out if there's any harsh lines with the white. So that's our image. Now, I know it looks weird as it's sitting there. Again, it's on gray cardstock or a gray mixed media, a toned gray. But I thought with the champagne, it really just is helping that flower to pop. I'm going to be using the Paper Roses All Occasions Sentiment Sheets. And I've chosen the sentiment, wishing you a wonderful birthday. Now, this piece here is going to be matted on a piece of black cardstock. That piece that I colored on is cut to 4 by 5 1/4, and the black mat is going to be cut by 4 1/4 to 5 1/2. Now, here's a tip. When you have these sentiment strips, they are great because you can add color to them. You can make them any color that you want, which is awesome. Do that before you cut the sentiment strip apart. Because it's at that time, when I had it on the card, I'm like, you know, these would look really great in pink. It would also be a lot better, especially for that A that I have cut there, to get that color on there. So again, I am proof that I have an idea of my card and I just go for it. I just start creating. Again, we come up with ideas as we keep going, and we change our mind, and we think we're going to go right and then we go left. And this is one of those moments. Is it possible? Absolutely. Your fingers will just get inky, but that's the fun of it. I'm going to use some double-sided foam squares just to prop up my sentiment. And it's going to be in that kind of like a straight line. It's almost like a journal, the way that we put our sentiments on if we're doing an art journal type page. They're kind of, you know, a little wonky. I'm going to get these set where I think I want them. And you can see where I'm putting them is on the leaves that are attached to the floral stamp, because they are slightly different. So by putting my sentiment there, the leaves that I have coming out from underneath it look like that they are part of that stamp. So we can do a lot just by showing a trick of the eye. I'm going to use my tape runner, and we're going to put this on that black mat. Again, that's cut 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then we're going to take this and we're going to put this on top of our standard A2 size card base. This is going to be a top folding card base with the very slightest of white border on each side. I'm going to add some gems. These are the eggshell pearls from Lucy's, and again, just added some of those to give it even more sparkle and shine. So I hope you enjoyed today's project for paper roses. All the products that I used will be listed down below in the video description if you want to check them out. And if you have any questions, make sure you leave those down below as well. Enjoy. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and hit that bell so that you can receive all notifications for all future videos here. Have fun creating your art, and I hope I gave you some tips and tricks just along the way for your stash. But most of all, always remember, be creative, everyone, and I'll talk to you in the next video.